The day you decide to fight for yourself, something unusual happens. People who previously did not care about your tranquility will suddenly become concerned about your decisions. They'll call you selfish, cold, changed. They'll remark you used to be easy to talk to, which usually means you were easy to relocate. And if you've been taught your entire life to keep the environment pleasant, a familiar terror will rise in your chest, an urge to explain, an urge to soften, the desire to prove that you are still good. That's the trap. Most people do not lose because they are frail. They lose because they are dedicated to the wrong audience. They struggle to be understood by those who profit from misinterpreting them. They struggle to be loved by those who just respect boundaries. They try to keep relationships alive, which only last as long as they diminish. Machiavelli would not call it kindness. He would describe it as poor strategy. If you look closely, fighting for others is frequently a polite narrative you tell yourself to avoid facing the more terrible truth. You're not battling for them. You're fighting for authorization. You're struggling for approval. You are struggling to maintain a positive image in the eyes of others. And the instant your existence is centered on someone else's sight, you have already given. So let's keep it simple. The goal is not to be ruthless. The goal is to quit being managed. Stop sacrificing your dignity for temporary peace. Stop mistaking sacrifice with virtue when it's really just fear with a halo. Machiavelli's ideology does not promote cruelty. It's about reality. He saw that every human context involves a struggle for frame control. Who defines what is acceptable? Who decides what is too much? Who is allowed to be upset and who must remain calm? Who is permitted to have wants and who must constantly be present? You can't undo what you've seen. Many moral arguments aren't moral at all. They are leveraged. Here's the first hard truth. The world does not reward self-abandonment. It takes full use of it. When you fight for all, you become a public utility, useful, admired, and ultimately taken for granted. Fighting for yourself transforms you into a person. People treat individuals differently than they do utilities. They negotiate with people. They show respect for people. They are afraid of losing people. If this sounds harsh, that's fine. Harsh is frequently simply honest, without makeup. Consider how early this program starts. As a child, you discover that love is unstable. Love is conditional. You are awarded for behaving well, sharing, smiling, and not causing trouble. You are punished for resisting, asking why, saying no, and making adults uncomfortable. So you adjust. You become amenable. You become useful. You become the child who doesn't need much. And because grown-ups admire this, you mistake it for maturity. Then you grow up and apply the same rule to your friendships, career, and relationships. You take on the role of the fixer, the person who understands, the person who provides the benefit of the doubt. You become the emotional janitor. You clean up after others so they don't have to deal with the consequences of their actions, and you call it love. Machiavelli would ask one question that cut across all of your stories. Who benefits? Who gains from your continued forgiveness? Who profits from your continued explanations? Who profits when you continue to give second chances to those who refuse to change? It's rarely you. This is why fight for yourself isn't a motivating phrase. It's a survival philosophy. Because if you do not defend your interests, individuals with larger appetites will turn your life into food. Let's speak about what fighting for yourself really entails, because most people get it incorrect. They envision screaming matches, revenge fantasies, and cold cutoffs. That isn't power, that is a reaction. Fighting for oneself is quieter. It is the decision to safeguard your time, mind, name, and future as if they are valuable. It is a refusal to engage with guilt. It takes discipline to allow others to experience disappointment without rushing to cure it. It begins with a transformation in identity. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who needs to earn space. You've already got space. You're not asking for permission to exist. You are establishing the terms of access. That is where Machiavelli can help. He became fascinated with the distinction between appearance and control. Many people appear compassionate, yet they use kindness to control others. Many people appear to be honest, but they weaponize it. Many people appear to be loyal, yet their loyalty is rented out to whoever is most beneficial. Fighting for those folks is like fighting for a mirage. You're guarding a mask. A strategist observes action, not speeches. This is a practical rule. If someone only appreciates you when you are difficult, they have never respected you. They simply respected your threat potential. And that's fine. You don't need their love. You need clear dynamics. People avoid fighting for themselves for a variety of reasons, including a fear of becoming the villain. They are afraid of being talked about. They are afraid of being perceived as selfish. However, Machiavelli would caution you that pleasing everyone will not help you build your reputation. Consistency, competency, and selective mercy all contribute to one's reputation. If you try to please everyone, you will be dominated by the most demanding person in your orbit. The squeaky wheel does not only get grease, it captures your entire life. So you need a new standard. Not, will they approve of me? But, does this strengthen me? Not, will they understand? But, is this true? Not, will they leave? But, should they stay? Consider how such questions affect your posture. They make you a judge rather than a defendant. They take you out of the courtroom illusion, where everyone else evaluates you while you try to pass. Now, let's get more concrete. If you want true power, you have to battle for it in 3 places. The first is your focus. Attention is the currency of the modern world, and you are plundered on a daily basis. People want to provoke you into an argument. They manipulate you into defending yourself. They draw you into endless emotional tasks. You can't construct anything if you can't keep your focus. You will always be reacting, cleaning, and weary. This is what fighting for your attention looks like. You cease responding instantly. You no longer reward disrespect with participation. You stop explaining your decisions to those who aren't invested in your life. You become difficult to reach, not because you are haughty, but because you are limited. And when you become finite, you get value. The second is your personal boundaries. A boundary is not up for argument. It is a declaration about reality. The weak boundary is one that comes with speaking. The strong barrier comes with behavior. You do not need to persuade others to respect you. You need to make disrespect costly. Note the difference. If you say, "Please don't talk to me like that," and then continue chatting, you've taught them that your boundary is based on your mood. If you say, "Don't speak to me like that," and then end the conversation, you've taught them that your boundary is absolute. Machiavelli understood the law. He also knew that enforcement is what gives a law substance. Without enforcement, it is just theater. The third place where you must battle for yourself is in your tail. Others will try to write you into roles that benefit them. The reliable one, the forgiving one, the peaceful one, the person who never complains, the one who consistently says yes. These roles appear charming until you learn they are cages. If you refuse, they will accuse you of changing. They'll call you ungrateful. They will remark, "You are no longer the same person you once were." They are correct. You're not. You are maturing into a self-sufficient individual. To battle for yourself, you must understand that some people will despise you if you no longer serve their needs. That does not indicate that you are doing something incorrect. It demonstrates that your convenience drove the relationship. Machiavelli would like this deeper layer. People do not simply take advantage of you because they are evil. They take advantage of you because you make things simple. You instruct them. Every time you tolerate disrespect, you're training it. Every moment you over-explain, you are inviting interrogation. Every time you soothe someone's emotions, you educate them that they don't need to govern themselves. That's not sympathy, that's enabling. This is where self-respect becomes strategic. Self-respect isn't an emotion. It is a habit to reject offers that make you smaller. It is the readiness to disappoint someone today in order to avoid resenting them later. Resentment develops when you do not fight for yourself. It is a slow poison. It makes kind people bitter. It makes loving people feel cold. It transforms relationships into quiet conflicts. If you desire peace, fight early, fight cleanly, fight without theatrics. Most conflict arises when people refuse to tolerate minor discomfort in favor of prolonged suffering. They avoid a 10-second time limit and instead live in a 10-year cage. Let us look at a common scene. Someone criticizes you unfairly. The old you strives to prove you are capable. You list your sacrifices. You present evidence. You want the court to see your heart. However, the critique was not a search for the truth. It was a status move. It was a test. Will you kneel? Will you perform? Will you pray for mercy? Machiavellian responses are not loud. It is peaceful and brief. That's your point of view. I disagree. Noted. Alternatively, if a fact needs to be corrected, you do so without defending yourself. That is not accurate. Here's what occurred. Then you stop. No extra oxygen. When you do it, something changes. You eliminate the award. You don't feed the predator. You don't offer them your throat. Another scenario. Someone requests more than they should. They demand your time, assistance, and emotional work now. The old you says yes, then feels confined, resentful, and blames others. It is best to slow down. I can't. Not today. I'm not available for that. If they insist, you don't say anything more. You repeat the order once, then you act. You depart. You end the call. You alter the subject. You stop negotiating. This is not unkind. It is clarity. Machiavelli talked about princes, but the same principle applies to your personal life. If you can't rule yourself, someone else will. If you do not protect your resources, someone else will use them. The most precious resource isn't money, it's life. Now let's talk about guilt, because it's the leash that most people use to control you. You will feel terrible about fighting for yourself, especially if you were trained to believe that being good entails being available. However, guilt isn't always a moral signal. Sometimes it's just withdrawal. You are withdrawing from a role, and your nervous system is disoriented. It expects to be punished. It expects to be rejected. It expects danger. So it floods you with guilt in order to force you back into compliance. Do not mix guilt with the truth. This is an easy approach to test your guilt. Ask yourself, did I injure or disappoint someone? The harm is genuine. Disappointment is not harmful. Disappointment is a part of existence. People are capable of surviving it. In fact, mature people respect you more when you allow them to experience things without fear. When you stop battling for their acceptance, you make room for genuine connection. A genuine connection does not require you to shrink. It takes two entire persons. There is a subtle Machiavellian point that many people ignore. Fighting for oneself does not imply fighting everyone. It entails selecting battles that safeguard your position. A good strategy does not respond to every insult. They struggle for leverage, clarity, and long-term advantage. They conserve energy. They do not react to all noises. As a result, selective participation requires discipline. Some folks aren't worth educating. Some disputes aren't worth winning. Some relationships are not worth salvaging. Your purpose isn't to be correct. The goal is to be free. Freedom is costly. It costs you comfort. It costs you weak relationships. It costs you the delusion of being adored by everyone. But all you win is your own spine. Here's the part that changes everything. You cannot fight for yourself if you secretly despise yourself. If you do not believe you deserve protection, you will continue to give yourself away. That is why the most in-depth work is not technical. It is identity. You must develop loyalty to your future self, not your image. This is not your audience. not the version of yourself that wants to be perceived as honorable. Your future self is the one who will bear the consequences of your current actions. Every yes you say out of fear costs you in the long run. Every boundary you breach costs your future self money. Every connection you keep because you are afraid of being alone benefits your future self. So image your future self sitting across from you, watching you trade your life for applause. Will they thank you, or would they appear tired? Machiavelli can serve as medicine in this situation. He forces you to consider motivations, even your own. Why do you continue to overgive? Because it ensures your safety. Why do you continue to tolerate disrespect? Because confrontation is hazardous. Why do you continue to battle for those who do not fight for you? Because the alternative is to recognize that you selected them, which hurts. But discomfort is not always an issue. Pain can sometimes be seen as information. Pain indicates that a limit is being crossed. Pain warns you that the truth is being avoided. Pain tells you that you are living in someone else's body. So, battle, not with drama, with discipline. Fight by telling the truth quickly. Fight by ending disrespectful conversations. Fight back by leaving rooms where your dignity is being questioned. Fight by refusing to beg for basic dignity. Fight by creating a life in which you don't need anyone's approval to feel secure. And now comes the dilemma. When you ultimately fight for yourself, you get the ability to truly fight for others, not as a servant, not as a people pleaser, as an ally, as a person who makes choices. Your gift becomes clean since it is voluntary and not compelled. Your generosity grows stronger since it is not a transaction for acceptance. This is the difference between sacrifice and strategy. Sacrifice occurs when you lose yourself while calling it love. Strategy is when you stay true to yourself and share what you have with clear eyes. So, the next time you feel compelled to show your worth, halt. Who am I fighting for right now? If the answer is their perception, then end. If the answer is my future, then proceed. One more thing. Fighting for yourself is more than just saying no. It is also about agreeing to the proper standard. Many people set boundaries but still have low expectations. They tolerate subpar companions because loneliness frightens them. They accept hectic occupations because stability seems out of grasp. They accept insulting romance because being chosen feels like breathing. A Machiavellian mind distinguishes between being selected and being valued. It monitors investment, who contacts you first, who maintains promises without reminders, who repairs damage fast, and who celebrates your successes without diminishing them. Standards safeguard you throughout time. To read people, consider what they do when it hurts them, not when it benefits them. Fighting for yourself in the workplace entails no longer sacrificing your skills for free. You cease rescuing a squad that will eventually blame you. You document agreements. You affirm decisions in writing. You let people choose their own deadlines. When someone tries to hand you their panic, you respectfully return it. I can help next week. I can review this once. I'm not available for last-minute emergencies. There's no need to be theatrical. You simply need to remain consistent. In your personal life, it means you cease negotiating with disdain. If someone mocks you and calls it funny, you do not debate purpose. You name the behavior once and then adjust access. If someone only apologizes when they fear the consequences, you are breaking the loop. And if someone makes you feel guilty about having wants, you've discovered the oldest trick in the book. They're attempting to make your self-respect look like a crime. And if you want a basic practice, do this for 7 days. Speak less. Explain less. Say no once a day to something you don't want. Keep track of who respects and punishes it. Pay attention to who negotiates and who accepts. When you stand up, notice who grows warmer and who goes cooler. These reactions will reveal everything you need to know. Machiavelli's philosophy, free of politics, is both a warning and a blessing. The caution is that the world has appetites, and appetites are unconcerned with your intentions. The gift is that you can develop into the type of person that is resistant to change. Not because you are difficult, but because you are straightforward. Fight for yourself. You're responsible, not selfish. You are the only person who will experience each day of your life from the inside. Protect it. Build on that. And if someone forces you to compromise yourself in order to keep them comfortable, let them be uncomfortable. That marks the birth of power.